Yo! What's going on, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by as we break down everything surrounding this football team, from joint practices with the Lions to roster moves that they just made. We're looking ahead to the preseason game and so much more. Appreciate everybody for being here. I know we had to push back the start time a little bit, but it was just to get you guys another video. Main man, Bronx boy in the building. Shout out to the Bronx boy. We appreciate you, man. We got 31 people watching right now. Numbers are a little bit low. I just need everybody to type real one in the chat right now. And if you haven't liked the video, please do so. We just put out a video a couple of moments ago. The Giants have waived running back Jashaun Corbin. Unfortunate that has happened. As you know, if you watch this channel, Jashaun Corbin is my sweet prince. I had him as a rookie minicamp winner back in 2022, so it was a little bit disappointing to see him be cut today. Still thought he should have made the roster last year over Gary Brightwell, who's actually not on this team anymore. And also, the Giants have signed veteran, and kind of a veteran. I said in the video, probably shouldn't have said it. This is going to be his third year in the NFL, and I already forgot Buddy's name here. Christian Holmes. Christian Holmes, the corner from the Washington Commanders. He is going to be joining the Giants as they have claimed him on waivers. Joe Schoen continues to throw dart after dart after dart at the dartboard when it comes to signing corners for the veteran minimum, hoping and praying that he's going to find his guy. The Giants have added, I believe, 5 corners since the NFL draft has ended for the veteran minimum. They went out and signed David Long Jr. once the NFL draft wrapped up. They signed Trey Herndon once once OTAs in minicamp wrapped up. And they signed 3 players this past week: Holmes, Borders, and they also signed Mario Goodrich. So the bottom of the Giants cornerback depth chart continues to be turning, hoping that Joe Schoen can find someone for cornerback DB coach Jerome Henderson to find this roster. And as my guy Nope says, and none of them have been heard of. Nope, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't know any of these guys. I had heard of Breon Borders prior to him signing with the New York Giants, but yeah, they are trying to find a diamond in the rough. For some reason, they don't want to spend any money on a legit corner. I don't know why. I don't know why the Giants are doing that. But if you want to go hear about the signings, we put a video out on the channel. You can go check that out now, or you can do it once this live show is over. Reminder to subscribe, though. I'm sure the people watching the show right now are already subscribed, as they are the ones that got their notifications. But a reminder, we are going to be live on the channel Thursday, breaking down the game. We will be live an hour before the game gets kicked off. We'll have a pregame show. I'll be doing free play-by-play throughout the game, hanging out with all of the real ones as well. And then we're going to do a post-game show, and once again, we'll have multiple videos on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The season's almost here, though. Today was the first time following joint practice that I really was fired up for the season. I had said it on a couple of shows before. This was the least optimistic I had been about a Giants football season in a long time, and I think that's more so to do with me getting my heart broken last year, and I probably am placing unfair expectations where they're too low for this football team. But the way that they battled today against the Detroit Lions, the way that they did not back down, the way that they got in the face of the big, bad, fake, tough guy Detroit Lions, and they fought and they scratched and they clawed. I don't know, man. Today got me fired up for Giants football. Seeing Daniel Jones getting in the thick of it, fighting his team, fighting for his team, ripping defenders off his offensive line. We saw Jermaine Eleumunor go to bat for Malik Neighbors. We saw Nick McLeod be right there for Andrew Phillips. Isaiah Simmons came off the sideline today ready to scrap. Today was fun. I can't wait for practice tomorrow. And I was just proud to be a Giants fan today. I haven't said that in quite some time. They showed some fight today, and Thursday is going to be a lot of fun. I'm sure that these players will be ready to actually play within rules in a real game and there not be a fight every single second. We'll talk more about today. We've got 4 segments coming up as well. But first, I got to give a major shout out to today's sponsor, GameTime. Download the GameTime app. Use the promo code ChatSports, and the #1 ticketing app in the game, GameTime, will hook you up with $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. I've used all of the ticketing apps out there before, and I'm going to be honest, none of them come close to GameTime. At GameTime, you get the best seats for the lowest prices guaranteed. Prices actually drop as the events get closer. And some of my favorite features about GameTime are that you get an in-app look at this view of the seat that you are thinking about purchasing. You also can select all-in pricing. Ticketing apps love to hit you with hidden fees. Once you get to the checkout stage at GameTime, you get to have a look at the all-in pricing as you're looking at different tickets to buy, last-minute tickets, and flash deals, view from the seats, lowest price guaranteed. And if you're a procrastinator like I am, and you need those last-minute tickets and those flash deals, you don't want to spend money until you have it or you have to, GameTime is the ticketing app for you. So go into your app store, download the GameTime app, and use the promo code ChatSports. That's ChatSports, and get your $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply when you use the promo code ChatSports. That's ChatSports, and get hooked up with the best ticketing app in the game. Shout out to GameTime for being the proud sponsor of Giants Now by Chat Sports. Joey DeLuca coming in with our first super chat of the day. Joey DeLuca, I appreciate you, man. You're always here. You're always showing love. You're the life of the chat, man. Happy Monday to you, brother. He says, let's go, New York Giants. I can't wait for the season. And I'm right there with you, man. It's been a slow offseason at times for this football team. And after you end up going 6-10 or 6-11, whatever they did, and you end up picking top 10 in the draft after you made the playoffs the prior year, I just didn't have the juice I needed. But today, the joint practices with the Lions, it got me ready. It felt like football. And we are Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. We are 3 sleeps away from waking up and getting to watch our team go play some football and beat the Detroit Lions. That is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do it live on this channel. So subscribe, and I better see you there, so turn on your notifications. Remy the Enforcer coming in with a $2 super chat as producer Reed is in the building. Shout out to Reed. Get today's show ready. That's my guy. He says, howdy, Marsh. Any shortcut possibilities? Well, Remy, what I will tell you is, or I'll ask you, do you have your notifications turned on? Because yesterday we put out a video of some shocking cut candidates from ESPN. That's why you turn notifications on, because we did that video yesterday. Some of the cuts that ESPN made that I was shocked by, if I remember off the top of my head, Dante Miller was one. Darius Muasau, the rookie linebacker out of UCLA, was another. I can't remember the rest off the top of my head. I've had a lot of stuff going on today. That's why you turn noties on, Remy. You would have been able to watch the video, and you would have got all your answers. Because I have poor service since Barrel. I'm sorry. Now I feel like an a-hole. I'm the a-hole.
Come on, Marsh.
Unbelievable.
What up, Nope?
Nope in the building. What up?
Me out. Bill, too.
Read the video editor. Well done, Reed. Well done, Reed.
Thank you very much.
Shout out to Reed.
Shout out to Joey DeLuca, too. We're cooking today.
We got some fun stuff to talk about. I'm sorry, Remy. I don't remember exactly all off the top of my head, but I know that it was – I don't even remember. I'm going to be honest with you. You do so many dang videos here and so much content. I'll just go to the video and I'll just give you the answer real quick. They were Darius Muasau, DJ Davidson, Dante Miller, Austin Schlottman, and Gervarius Owens. Those were the 5 people that I thought were shocking cut candidates by Jordan Renan as he put out his 53-man roster projection for the New York Giants. We are going to get to a mailbag in today's show. We've got a long show. We've got 4 different segments. We've already done 6 Giants videos today because they did a practice this morning. They signed players today. We kept you in the loop on that. But if you want to be featured on the channel for our mailbag coming up in about 30, 45 minutes or so, ask a question in the comments and just include hashtag Giants. That way, producer Reed can use the software we have to pop those questions up on screen.
I don't know about you guys, but my favorite part about doing a live with Marsh is as soon as that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, yo, what's going on, everybody? It's my favorite part.
Trying to bring the energy to start the show, man. I'm just trying to get everybody off on the right foot. I'm giving that pep talk before we go in the blow-up outside the locker room with the smoke in there. And we're getting ready. We're getting ready to run down that sideline and go beat some Lions ace. That's what I'm ready for, man. I am ready. I don't give a shit if it's the preseason. I want to go 3-0. I forgot what it's like to win football games. I forgot. I did. And I want to go freaking do it. I want to go do it Thursday. I want to beat Dan Campbell on those damn kneecaps. How about that? As Dina Mans, brand new to the channel, everybody drop a DM for me in the chat. Welcome to the family, the #1 Giants community on YouTube. Welcome. Welcome. Mark Estrada coming in with a $10 super chat. Major love to Mark Estrada, always in the chat being a real one. He says, Marsh, been loving the offseason coverage. Salute to you, Mark. I am glad that it is appreciated on your end. We put a lot of work in, man, and it's hard to create entertaining and engaging content sometimes in June, in July, and August. So to see that be appreciated, Mark, that means a lot to me and the team over here. He says, what are your presentation for captain assignments? What do we got here, Reed? I need some help. Help me out here, Mark. Let me know what you were trying to say. What are your predictions
for captain assignments? Predictions.
Oh, who do I think is going to be the captains? Love that. Love that. And then chat, let's get some boots. Are we doing boots today? A boot would be crazy. If we get to a hundo, we'll do a boot.
Yeah,
How about that?
yeah.
If we get to a hundo, we'll do a boot. We're at 14 right now. Last year, the Giants had like 9 captains, Mark Estrada. And I think I said at the time, if you have 9 captains, you have no captains. I don't want a football team to ever have 9 captains. You only have 53 players. The people I want to see be captains this year: Andrew Thomas, Daniel Jones, Dexter Lawrence, and Bobby Okereke. If we're going 4 captains, those are my 4 captains. The only reason I'm not saying Brian Burns is because he's brand new to this team. Okereke, Andrew Thomas, Dexter Lawrence, and Daniel Jones. Those are my 4 captains. And then if we go special teams, I'll go Graham Gano.
I was going to say Kayvon Thibodeau.
Kayvon? Yeah, I could see it. I'm not there, obviously. I'm not at practice. I'm not in the locker room. But those are, if I had only to go with 4, I'm going Dexter, I'm going Bobby, I'm going Daniel, and I'm going Andrew Thomas, with Graham Gano being the 5th on special teams. Mark Estrada says Isaiah Simmons. Not that I don't think Isaiah Simmons is worthy of being a captain. It's just that I don't want to see 9 captains again like I saw last year. And I want it to mean a little bit more, to have a C on your chest. I'm going with those 5 guys. Those are my 5 guys to be captains. Is that cool? Okay, Jeremy Chugs is cool with that. Cool. Probably. Dina says Neighbors the GOAT. Yeah, look, Malik Neighbors has been unbelievable. It was good to see Malik Neighbors do it today against a different team. I was tired of seeing the back of number 28's jersey with Flott on it, chasing Neighbors. We got to see him tear up the lines a little bit today. That dude's special, man. We finally got one of those guys. We got one of them ones. Because he's always open. Like a good neighbor, Malik is there. There it is. Shout out to Malik Neighbors. Jeremy Chugg's bringing some juice to the chat today. Michael Cook says, can Neighbors wear 9-2 since they won't be on the field at the same time? No. And I have told every single person that watches this show to not buy a Malik Neighbors jersey because they are selling Malik Neighbors number 9 jerseys, which is morally wrong because Malik Neighbors is not going to wear number 9. He said he's not going to wear number 9. Graham Gano has said he's not going to wear number 9. So, to anybody that has bought a number 9 Malik Neighbors jersey, I feel bad for you, but I've told you not to do it. If I were the Giants, I think 9 looks good on Malik Neighbors, and I actually want him to wear that. But what I would do is get him number 2. Drew Lock, you go wear a different number, brother. Go get him number 2. Maybe they go 6. That's the punter's number at this moment. Maybe they change the punter's number. I would be cool with 6. I like 9, though, too. Well, I wrote Burns in there. So definitely want to check that. Yeah, exactly, brother. Exactly, man. As Rob Jigga coming in with a $5 super chat. What's up, Brody? Thank you for the love. Hope you enjoyed the Yankees game yesterday. I wish I could have got one of those Eli Manning bobbleheads, man. That looks sweet. He says, weird question. Never weird. It says, in a Hard Knocks teaser trailer, there was a scene where Joe mentioned Atlanta as if they called to trade up. Nothing shown afterwards. Yeah, the only team that I know that was trying to trade up with the New York Giants were the Indianapolis Colts. And they kind of talked about that. I'm sure there are multiple teams that called the Giants when they were on the clock at number 6 and Malik Neighbors was there for the taking. I wish I had more inside information on that, Rob Jigga, but at this moment I do not. The only team I know for a fact that was trying to trade up with the New York Giants was the Indianapolis Colts. I heard there's some teams that called, nothing really serious. The only team that really had serious aspirations of moving up, to my knowledge, is the Indianapolis Colts. Those Eli Manning bobbleheads are going for over $100 on eBay. I would just keep it. I would just keep it. That's not worth $100 to me. Jets called. I know the Jets called too, but I had heard the Colts were the most interested. But yes, the Jets did call too, so I don't want to downplay that either. Zach says, thoughts on Ahkello Weatherspoon as CB2? Zach, you should include hashtag Giants in your comment. That way we can answer that question on our mailbag. That's going to go out on the channel this week. Shout out to everybody in the building. If you haven't yet, please, please, please hit that thumbs up icon. We got 100 people watching, only 46 likes. We unfortunately did not get a push notification that we went live because we've already put out 3 videos today in the last 24 hours. So if you could, help us grow the channel. Hit that thumbs up icon. And if you have liked the video, type me in the chat, and I'm giving shout-outs to everybody that does. If you have liked the video, type me down below, and we're going to give you shout-outs. As my guy Mike G in the building. The best damn initials in the chat. What up, MG? He says, Marsh, my guy. Got to have one. Burns or Hutch? I'm going to go with Brian Burns. I would understand why anybody would say Aiden Hutchinson just because he's younger at this point, but I think we as Giants fans are underappreciating Brian Burns as a player. We saw him today absolutely wreck practice for the Detroit Lions. But, man, we really got one of the best edge rushers in the league on our team, and we got him on a steal of a deal, a second-round pick. Yes, we had to pay him a lot of money. That's a good problem to have. You have to pay someone a lot of money because that means they're a damn good football team. A damn good football player, excuse me. But, man, yeah, Mike G, I'm going with Brian. He's our guy. And I don't know if y'all saw the video. I tweeted it out. There was a guy wearing a Dolphins jersey at Giants practice on Sunday, and he went up to Brian Burns, and Burns said, man, take that shit off. He's already repping for the team. We've got quotes from Burns today on Azeez Ojulari. I think you guys are going to like those. But, yeah, Brian Burns is a stud. He had 3 tackles for loss today. He dominated practice on Friday and Sunday for the New York Giants. And I am ready to see number 5, number 0, number 97 and number 51 pin their ears back and create havoc on Sunday. Shout out to Mike G right now, the top dog of Giant Super Chatters. Mike G, we love you. We appreciate you, man. Thank you for making this your go-to spot for Giants content on YouTube. Mad love, Brody. Dylan Herman, a first-time Super Chatter. Shout out to Dylan Herman. Everybody drop a DH for me in the chat. Dylan, thanks for the love. Welcome to the channel, my man. He says, we always have had an elite weapon on offense, from Tiki to Plaxico to Cruz to Odell to Barkley, and now, hopefully, Neighbors. Will Malik be the best of the bunch? I said this last week in a video. Malik Neighbors is the best Giants offensive playmaker since Odell Beckham Jr., and I truly do believe that. I know he hasn't taken a snap in the NFL. I know he hasn't played a game yet for this organization, but, man, this dude's a stud, and I did a whole short on it, but, like, we haven't even seen what he does best. What he does best is eating up yak. Yards after catch, getting north and south, running to green grass, finding that hidden yardage after a catch. And at training camp, you don't tackle, really. You don't bring people to the ground. You're looking out for your teammates. I can't wait to see Malik Neighbors in space with the ability to push north and south and go get it, man, because, yes, he's great running routes. Yes, he's great going deep. Yes, he's great creating separation, strong hands, contested catch guy. But the reason that he was selected number 6, the reason he was chosen over Rome Odunze, is because of what he's able to do when the ball is in his hands and he's going north and south. And we haven't even gotten to see that yet. He's going to be special for this team, and I truly do believe he's the best offensive playmaker since that dude that had the yellow mohawk with number 13 on his chest. I really do believe that. As MG, Mike G, he's cooking up early here on a Monday. Shout out to Mike G. Everyone dropping MG for me in the chat. It's my guy right there. He says, Marsh, need you again, brother. Give me Neighbors' floor and ceiling with player comps. Just your opinion. I said this in the NFL draft process. I truly do believe his ceiling is Pittsburgh Steelers' Antonio Brown. Like, I do believe he could be the best wide receiver in the NFL. My pro comp for him was a head-on straight Antonio Brown. Not talking off the field. I'm strictly talking in between those white lines. He reminded me of a more explosive Antonio Brown, and I think he's going to be that guy. And if I had to give you a floor, I think it's a Jarvis Landry. I think at minimum he's going to do what Jarvis Landry did in this league, where he can work out of the slot, be a 100 reception guy a season, maybe not the best yards per reception guy, but man, I think there is no way that this guy busts. Just too good, just too talented, just too skilled, man. The top end talent for me, comp, is Pittsburgh Steelers Antonio Brown. That guy's a Hall of Famer. Low end, I think it's Jarvis Landry, who was a damn good player in this league. He'll probably fall somewhere in between, but he's going to be the best just Giants receiver since Odell Beckham Jr. You could book that. You could book that. Bill, my man, Bill on the grill. What's up, brother? Bill, you're getting pretty big on Giants Twitter, man. I've been seeing some of your tweets pop off in the reply section. Love seeing Bill engage with other Giants awesome fans over there. Do you think DJ won over a few more fans today? I did, man. And I'm not going to say he won me over, because if you watch this channel, if you're a faithful subscriber, you know my relationship with Daniel Jones. It goes back and forth. It's based off his play. And I'm always going to have love for him. I'm always going to respect him. I always will appreciate how hard he works and how much he puts into this dang thing for him. Mr. Rick, as long as you're my caddy, we could play whenever, brother. I do think Daniel Jones won some people over today. It's always cool to see your quarterback mix it up in a fight and go to bat for his guys. That was cool. But you know what? It doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, it does not matter. the best way to win this team over and this fan base and this locker room is go 1-0. Go beat the Vikings. Then go beat the Commanders. The 0-1 Vikings. And just win football games. This fan base rallied around you when you won football games. What it takes to be appreciated by fans in the NFL. It's the National Football League. Got to win games. And I think he's got a chance to do it this year. We're going to find out, though, very, very soon. Big Dave. What's up, Dave? Mr. Rick, good to see you in the chat, man. I missed you, brother. I missed you, man. I hope you're doing well. I think this is a nice shirt, to be honest with you. I think it is a nice shirt.
It's a great shirt. I love the shirt.
I love it, too. I'll tell you this much. I don't golf, but we went to Top Golf as some coworkers last week, and I was in first place until the last round. And then I got second. Reed, though, Reed's got a good little swing on him, man. He's got to teach me.
You know, Rolly's got a very nice.
Yeah, but it's F. Rolly.
Yeah.
It's always F. Rolly. Always, always, always. Dave says he reminds me of Jamar Chase. I definitely get some Jamar Chase vibes as well. But high-end comp is Antonio Brown for me. That's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Go look at what Antonio Brown did for the Pittsburgh Steelers. One of the best runs a receiver has ever had. Ever, ever, ever. Mike, you make the call, and we're there, brother. We are there. We're at $56 in Super Chats. If you get to 100, I'm doing a boot today. Mike G, you just you make the call, and I'm there, dude. You make the call, and I'm there. All righty. We talked Giants joint practices earlier today. Go check that video out on the channel. The Giants have made 2 roster moves. We've put that video out on the channel. We've been hard at work here today at Giants Now. I feel like the segments we're doing today, I tried to get in my creative bag a little bit here. So let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green, and with the preseason opener right around the corner, that means football season is almost here for the New York Giants. And there's been a lot of talk about Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence and Kayvon Thibodeau. But the player that I think everybody is sleeping on, who will truly be the X factor for the New York Giants, is former second-round pick, the pass rusher out of Georgia, Azeez Ojulari. As we know, Ojulari he has struggled to stay healthy throughout his NFL career. But I believe this role of being a rotational pass rusher is going to suit him best, and I truly believe we are going to see the best season yet from number 51, and I am tired of the disrespect that he has been getting. We'll talk about that around the corner, but first, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I am trying to take down Lions Talk, our Lions channel here at Chat Sports, and subscribers picked up this week. It's game week, it's competition time, and I don't just want to beat him in the preseason, I want to beat him in subscribers picked up. So if you love the Giants and you want free, informative, entertaining updates every day, smash that sub button. All right, as we know, the Giants made big-time moves this offseason on the defensive line by going out and making a big-time trade for Brian Burns, sending a 7th-round pick and a 5th-round pick swap to Carolina to get the Pro Bowl pass rusher, and they gave him a 5-year, $150 million deal. He is your edge one. We know he's a stud. Kayvon Thibodeau in year 2 had 10-plus sacks, and we're expecting him to take another step. But outside of that, there's been a lot of talk of Giants don't have another guy. Giants don't have anybody else that can create pressure. And I'm calling BS on this, and I am tired of the disrespect that Azeez Ojulari has been getting. The dude was hurt last year, and I don't want people to forget how special of a player that he can be. Listen to what Ojulari recently told the media. He said, quote, "My hips weren't aligned last year. Stuff was off. One hip was longer than the other. When I'm doing that work consistently, it evened me out. Balance. That should help with staying on the field. When I'm out there, I have to produce, stay healthy, and do what I can do. Get to the quarterback, make tackles for loss, make plays that I used to make. I'm going to get back to myself and show it out there. Seeing the end of the last season was not what I wanted at all. It was a bad look on me, and I took that to the core. I was like, I can't do that again. It won't be like that anymore going forward. And you know what? I do think Azeez Ojulari is going to have his best season of his NFL career, because I think this role where he doesn't have to be a down in, down out pass rusher, where he doesn't have to be the guy that's racking up and stacking up snap after snap after snap and being on somewhat of a pitch count and going into the game when he is extremely fresh and just having the job of putting his hand in the dirt, pinning his ears back, and creating pressure is going to suit him best. Last year, played in just 11 games, but when you talk about his career and you look at it in totality and you stack up the numbers, I'm not sure how anybody cannot be hyped up about this dude. The dude has 16 sacks in 35 games played with 27 QB hits, 14 tackles for loss, and 79 tackles. When he's available, he produces. And that is shown in the stat sheet. Look at this. In 2021, the guy played in all 17 games, and he had the best season of his career. 42 pressures, 27 hurries, and 13 quarterback hits. Then the next year, the injuries started to come along. 7 games played, 19 pressures, 9 hurries, and 7 quarterback hits. This past year in 11 games, 25 pressures, 17 hurries, and 7 quarterback hits. Look at the pressure rate, which is pass rush snaps divided by pressures. On 9.6% of his snaps, he created pressures in his rookie year. On 13.5% of his snaps in 2022, he created pressure. And then in 9.4% of his snaps in 2023, he created pressure. And you just look at these numbers and you're like, Marshall, what do those really mean? What are those relative to other players? Well, let's stack it up against the players on this team. A career pressure rate for Azeez Ojulari comes in at 10.2. Kayvon Thibodeau is 8.9. Brian Burns, who just got $150 million, is 11.8. And Sexy Dexy, the guy that's known as the best pass rushing interior defensive lineman in the league, has a 10.7 pressure rate. So Azeez Ojulari creates pressure more often than Kayvon Thibodeau, and almost at the same rate as Dexter Lawrence, and he's right behind Brian Burns. This team, if they are going to win games, if this team is going to compete in the NFC East as the weather gets colder and colder, it is going to be because of the 4 players pictured on screen. They have the most assets allocated to the defensive line, second-round pick in Ojulari, top 5 pick in Kayvon Thibodeau, $150 million in Brian Burns, and a first-round pick and $90 more million in Dexter Lawrence. This team needs to be led by these 4 players. And I am tired of Azeez Ojulari not being in the talks of one of these 3 guys. I know 5 and I know 97, I know 0 are great, but I really do think we're going to see number 51 turn it on this year. We've got more thoughts and stats about Ojulari around the corner, but first I got to give a major shout out to today's sponsor, GameTime, the #1 ticketing app in the game. So if you're looking to buy tickets, maybe go to a Yankees game, a Mets game, a Giants game, a Knicks game, a concert, a theater event, or something else, do it with our proud sponsor, GameTime. Open up the App Store, type in GameTime, download the app, and use the promo code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. The reason I am a GameTime user is because you get the best seats for the lowest prices guaranteed. Prices actually drop as the events get closer. So if you are a procrastinator like I am, GameTime is going to be the app for you. Last-minute tickets and flash deals. If you don't want to buy tickets a month in advance, do it with GameTime. The app will also let you know when the best deals for the best seats for the best prices are going down. You also get a view from the seat. But my favorite feature of GameTime is the all-in pricing. I've used all the ticketing apps out there, and they love to say, oh, this ticket's $100. And then you get to check out, you're spending $200. As you can see on the middle of the screen, you can filter your tickets by all-in pricing, meaning the price that you see is the price that you pay. Go to Giants games, concerts, and more. Do it all with GameTime. Download the app, create an account, and use the promo code ChatSports. CHATSPORTS, and get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. I'll make sure all that information is clickable down in the comment and description of today's show. Even the biggest Azeez Ojulari haters out there, they have to agree with me on this. Talent has never been Ojulari's problem. There was a reason he was being mocked as a first-round pick when he came out of Georgia. There's a reason, despite being injury-prone and having long-term worries about his health, he still went in the second round. There's a reason he had a great rookie year and the hopes were sky high for this player. He is an elite talent, but you got to be dependable. And sometimes the best ability is availability. And Ojulari knows he has to be healthy. But it's not just me who has noticed how special, or you, how special Ojulari is. His new teammate, the guy that just signed a $150 million contract, he also knows that Azeez Ojulari is special. Brian Burns on Ojulari saying this: it comes very, very natural to him. I think he's very gifted. He has extremely long arms and natural leverage, so that makes him a premium pass rusher as far as his build. He's been doing great so far. I expect big things from him this year. There is a reason that Ojulari, coming out of Georgia in the SEC, was being mocked as one of the top pass rushers coming out of college. And for Brian Burns, a guy that's regarded as one of the best, already secured a long-term deal, and is at the top of the top when it comes to production at his position, has already recognized that Ojulari is a beast. But it's not just Burns that thinks Ojulari is special. There's a relationship building between Ojulari and Burns. And Ojulari has taken notice of Burns since the first time they played in his rookie season. Ojulari on Burns saying this: when we played against Burns after that game my rookie year, I was trying to get tips from him. I love the way he plays the game. Now he's on the team, so I can learn from him. Add whatever I can take from his game to my game and improve it, because I've seen what he's done in this league, and I want to get to that level too. I love that mindset from Ojulari. It's very easy in professional sports to see potentially your replacement, potentially the guy that the team is adding to take your job, and be like, no, this is BS, man. I'm Azeez Ojulari. I'm a second-round pick. I'm supposed to be the edge rusher. Instead, a positive mindset and a positive outlook to how can I help myself as a player grow from the addition of Brian Burns. I'm pumped up for 51 this year, man. And I've thought about it for a couple of weeks now, and I truly do believe it. A reduced role where he doesn't have to play 80 or 70% of the defensive snaps. Just come in and get after it. Come in and put pressure on the quarterback. Come in on third down. Come in and be aggressive and be fresh and be rested. And when you go up against that tired offensive tackle, you go out there and make a play. We know that the New York Giants are known for their pass rushers. That is the DNA of the New York Football Giants. I need a NASCAR package this year with 0 on one side, 5 on another, and 51 and 97 all on the field. I want to see all 4 of those dudes on the field at one time getting pressure on the quarterback. Pin your ears back and go make a play. We haven't seen that since the glory days of this football team. You got 4 dudes now who can go and do it. I'm just ready, man. I am ready for the season. What I saw from the Giants on Monday at joint practices against the Lions, inject that shit into my veins. It has me fired up. I saw Brian Daboll, even though he was skinny, looking like his old self, yelling and MFing people. We saw Brian Burns get in the face of people. Rookie slot corner Andrew Phillips didn't back down. Daniel Jones is in the mix fighting. This team's playing with a little bit of spunk right now. A little bit of swag, man. And I think that they're ready to go out and prove everybody wrong, including me, who doubt this team. And I want them to prove me wrong. I want them to be great because I love this dang team. And I'm ready to see them get back to being the respected franchise that they once were. Show Azeez Ojulari some love. There's a lot of hate out there for him. I don't get it. I mean, I understand. You're mad the guy can't stay healthy. Sure. Injuries happen to everybody in this league. But I just got a feeling this dude's going to have a big year, man. Type those 51s for me down in the comment section. And if you haven't yet, give me a follow on social media at @MarshallGreen_ is the handle. That's on Twitter. That's on Instagram. Hit me up over there, and let's talk some New York Giants football. I don't know why, but my monitor became unplugged, so I'm going to have to fix that real quick. Shout out to everybody in the building. Appreciate everybody for hanging out with the gang as we get you caught up on everything New York Giants.
I see some 51s from Dina, from Note, Mike G, Michael Cook, Bill.
Bill is a big Azeez Ojulari guy. That's because Bill knows ball. Bill knows ball. As my monitor has come back on. Shout out to everybody in the building. Got 157 people in the building. Only 69 likes. Those are rookie numbers. Hit that thumbs up icon. Let's go. 160 people watching, 69 likes. Smash that like button. Let's go.
Even though I like that number.
I love 69
we
likes.
Need more likes.
Michael Cook, I'm with you. How about we get to 169 likes? That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. No, Bill, stop it. Stop it. This Pretty Ricky stuff on Twitter today is crazy. It is crazy.
Brian, coming in with a 5.
Brian Combs, $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for supporting the program. He says, could we be looking at Azeez, Slayton, and Neal trade if the season isn't going that well? Yeah, absolutely. Look, the nature of the NFL is if you're a bad football team come trade deadline day, you're going to be looking to trade players that are about to be free agents that you'll probably not re-sign and get some assets back. For some reason, we didn't do that with Saquon or Xavier McKinney last year. Maybe Joe Shane has learned his lesson. But yes, I do believe if the Giants are out of the playoff race by trade deadline day, you could see Azeez, Slayton, and Evan Neal on that trading block. Not sure anybody wants Evan Neal, who we're about to talk about in a second. But yeah, Ojulari and Slayton are definitely going to be teams that are probably wanted by others. Why are y'all saying so Neighbors is going with 9? I mean, do you guys not listen? Malik Neighbors is not wearing number 9. He has said it. Graham Gano has said it. Don't waste your money. I've told you. Don't waste your money. It's because I care. It's because I care. But if you want to waste your money and have a Malik Neighbors number 9 jersey, then go ahead. Gus Nini, what up, man? Gus Nini, we appreciate you, man. We are going to get to a mailbag in about 30 minutes or so. If you want to get your questions on the show, get down in the comment section and just include hashtag Giants. That way producer Reed could pop that up on the screen. We could pop that up on the screen. As the Giants did make 2 roster moves earlier today. They have waived Ja'Shawn Corbin with an injury designation, and they have claimed cornerback Christian Holmes from the Washington Commanders. We did a video on that about an hour ago. Check that out once the live show's done. All righty. As you guys know, I'm not a newsbreaker. I'm not someone that tries to be or act as if I get information from sources. I'm not that type of guy. That's not what my job is. But I have been given some information from a very trusted source inside the Giants building about Evan Neal and his future with this football team and what is going on with Evan Neal. I don't claim to have sources, and when I do speak on having sources, I hope that you guys appreciate it because I'm not just making it up. So let's talk about Evan Neal and what I was told and what Chat Sports was told over the weekend. Let's dive into it. Could the end of the road for Evan Neal as a New York Giant be here? We're going to break that down on today's show as you're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports, and I am your host, Marshall Green. I don't claim to be an insider. I don't claim to be a guy that breaks news. But I have been told by someone very trusted that I can trust inside the New York Giants organization that players and staff are concerned and wonder if Evan Neal will play at all for the New York Giants this season. It has gotten to that point. We'll dive into that more in a second, but first, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We put out free videos every day on the New York Giants, and it is game week here at Giants Now. We're trying to take down Lions Talk, a channel here at Chat Sports, hosted by my good friend Mike Rowe. Mike, he's a good dude, but I want to beat his ace. So if you love the Giants, help us beat Lions Talk, and subscribers added this week. Alrighty, so I've been told that players, coaches, and people inside the Giants building, they don't know what's going on with Evan Neal. They do not know. And let's just start here. Evan Neal has not practiced since June 11th. Evan Neal was supposed to be ready for training camp. And I remember telling you back in May that he's not going to be ready for training camp, that he had a setback to his injury, that something happened. And I also told you the Giants approached him about playing guard. I now know that is 100% the truth. He was supposed to be ready for training camp, right? He has not. We're 2 weeks in. He has not practiced. And the Giants went out and signed Greg Van Roten for a reason earlier this month. They've already shifted Jermaine Eleumunor to right tackle. What is going on? This is a direct quote. Nobody knows what is going on with Evan Neal. That is what I was told. And I think that is an indictment on Evan Neal. Nobody knows what is going on. This all started when the New York Giants misdiagnosed Evan Neal's injury last year. Remember, he got hurt? I believe it was during a game day. And then he ended up practicing that next week. Then he was ruled out for the season with a broken ankle or a broken foot. Then he had surgery in January, and he was supposed to be ready for OTAs. And he worked some on the side. Then minicamp got here, and he was actually working, not taking team reps. But then training camp got here, and nothing happened. What is going on with Evan Neal? People inside the building are worried and concerned, players, coaches, and front office members, if he will play at all this year for the New York Giants. Let's try to go piece by piece here. I have been told that the New York Giants told Jermaine Eleumunor to focus on right tackle. Jermaine Eleumunor has been told by the New York Giants to focus on right tackle, which comes just a couple of weeks away from off-season workouts in the spring where Eleumunor was the left guard. The Giants started OTAs and minicamp with Jermaine Eleumunor at the left guard spot with the hopes that Evan Neal would be ready for training camp. Remember when Brian Daboll said that? We expect Evan Neal to be ready. What about when Joe Shane took the mic at the media press conference before training camp saying, Evan Neal's not that far off? I just want everyone, and I'm not trying to be mean to the New York Giants. They are never going to tell you the truth about injuries. Joe Shane will lie to you. Brian Daboll will lie to you. And they have lied all offseason long about Evan Neal. They told Eleumunor he was going to be the left guard. And then 2 months later, they told him to strictly focus on right tackle. Now, why is that? This has been the Giants' O-line at training camp the last couple of days. Andrew Thomas at left tackle, John Runyon at left guard, Greg Van Roten, who they signed from the Las Vegas Raiders last week, has only played center, has not taken a single snap at guard. And then Aaron Stenny, who was your left guard when Eleumunor went down early in camp. They're now moving him to right guard. And now Jermaine Eleumunor is your right tackle. I feel pretty damn confident in saying this. If Jermaine Eleumunor stays healthy, if Jermaine Eleumunor does not have to miss any time because of injuries, he will start every game at right tackle this year. Jermaine Eleumunor is your right tackle, ladies and gentlemen. They've been told, or he has been told by the New York Giants, that he is the right tackle and to strictly focus there. And as long as he doesn't get injured, and as long as shit doesn't hit the fan with his play, which I do not expect at all, I'll show you why in a second, that is going to be your starting right tackle. But I know there are still some Evan Neal truthers out there. And a guy that was selected number 7 overall just 2 NFL drafts ago should probably still be getting the nod at right tackle. So I will allow the comment section to be opened for you to decide. Pick a right tackle. Let me know. Neal, Eleumunor, you decide. Point number 2. Even Daboll, Brian Daboll, seemed unsure about Evan Neal when he was pressed by Jordan Renan of ESPN about what's going on with him, and then Dan Duggan of The Athletic backed him right up in Renan and doubled down as well. Renan and Duggan pretty much called Brian Daboll out and said, Joe said he was going to be ready for training camp. Or you said that, Brian. And then Joe said he's not that far off. He hasn't practiced, and preseason game number 1 is 3 days away. What the hell is going on? This was Brian Daboll's response to the questions from Duggan as well as Renan, saying, quote, he's just rehabbing, and when he's ready, he'll be ready to go out there. But he's not ready. He's trying to do everything he can to get better. He's just not ready to go yet. When he is, he'll be ready. I'm not going to get into all the particulars. He's rehabbing, and when he's ready, he'll be ready. That sounded like a head coach to me that knows he's not going to be ready. That sounds like a head coach to me that has moved on from Evan Neal being the right tackle of this football team. That sounded like a head coach to me that didn't want to throw one of his players under the bus. The reason he did not tell you when he's going to be ready is because he does not know. The reason he did not say why he is not practicing is because he does not know. Nobody knows what is going on with Evan Neal. It is extremely strange what is happening right now with the former Alabama offensive tackle. I've got more on this topic coming up in a second, but I got to tell you about our proud sponsor, GameTime. Download the GameTime app and use the promo code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. If you're looking to buy tickets to a sporting event, a concert, a theater event, a comedy show, or so much more, or anything else, do it with GameTime. You get the best seats for the lowest prices guaranteed. I have used all of the ticketing apps out there, and none of them are as user-friendly as GameTime. None of them make sure you get the best seats for the lowest price guaranteed, and none of them have an option like all-in pricing where they don't try to hit you with all the hidden fees once you get to the checkout stage. You want to, and it's not just Giants games. I hope you guys all know that. You can go to an MLB game, NBA game, theater event, concert. It's my go-to ticketing app for all of that. I got to go to the Home Run Derby. I went to a Knicks and Mavericks game this past year. I also got to go to the Grateful Dead concert last summer, and I'm going to be continuing to use GameTime, as should you. You get in-app view of the seats that you're looking to buy. You can do so much with the app. You should download it today and support the show. Create an account. Use the promo code ChatSports, ChatSports, and get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. I'll make sure all that information is clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. I said this when Jermaine Eleumunor was signed. I said this when Jermaine Eleumunor was named the starting left guard. I said this when Evan Neal and the Giants took a step back. Eleumunor is a better right tackle than Evan Neal, and the best man should play. I don't care if it's year 3 of the number 7 pick. I don't care if Evan Neal is on scholarship. This team, this fan base, they deserve for the best player at that position to play. And Jermaine Eleumunor right now is miles better than Evan Neal. Just look at the stats. Look at what they've done over the last 2 years at right tackle. In 31 games played for Eleumunor at right tackle, compared to 20 games played at right tackle for Neal, they've given up the same number of sacks. Neal has given up double the amount of QB hits, nearly double the amount of hurries, more than 25 more pressures, and Eleuminor's only committed 2 more penalties in 11 more games. Jermaine Eleumunor is much better, and he deserves to be the starting right tackle because the best man for the job should play. And the Giants, they know that. They've recalibrated, and Jermaine Eleumunor is going to be your starting right tackle. Evan Neal had his chance. He did. He was gift-wrapped the job as a rookie. They gave him the job again as a right tackle his second year with no competition. But the only thing he proved in year one and year two is that he is not dependable. He cannot stay healthy. The best ability at times is availability. And if the Giants can't count on you, Evan Neal, to be healthy, to suit up, and to play football, why do you think you should just walk into year three, gift wrap the job? You didn't earn it. It's the NFL. It's not Alabama. It's not IMG Academy. It's the National fucking Football League. And you have to earn your job every single year. And Evan Neal has not done anything to be the starting right tackle of this football team. I've also been told that Eleumunor wants to be the starting right tackle. I was told that Jermaine Eleumunor, upon signing with the New York Giants, told them he wanted to be the starting right tackle. And I am now told that he is extremely happy that he is going to be that guy. I also love that in joint practices on Monday, Jermaine Eleumunor held his own against Aiden Hutchinson. He stood there in his stance, and he kept one of the best pass rushers at a young age out of the backfield, out of the face of Daniel Jones, outside of the pocket. And for the first time in a long time, we saw Daniel Jones, if ever, work from a pocket. And that's because you've got a pro. You've got a dude. You've got a top 20 right tackle manning that side. And I am proud to say that Jermaine Eleumunor is my right tackle. The Giants' offensive line looked good. I don't want to drink the Kool-Aid. My cup's done. I've already drank it all. The Giants' O-line, they looked good against the Detroit Lions on joint practice on Monday. Just one day. We'll see how they look on Tuesday, and we'll see how they look on Thursday and that game day. But it was encouraging to see this offensive line hold their own against one of the more physical defenses in the National Football League. I want to talk a little bit about John Michael Schmitz. He needs to get healthy. He's missed like 5, 6, 7 practices in a row. And the Giants signed Greg Van Roten to be the starting right guard, to play next to his best friend, the starting right tackle, Jermaine Eleumunor. But we haven't seen it yet. Van Roten hasn't even taken a single snap at guard. It's because John Michael Schmitz has not practiced. He says he's getting closer. He's been wearing pads, just working on the side, no team drills. But I want to see this starting offensive line week one. I want to see Andrew Thomas at left tackle. I want to see John Runyon at left guard. I want to see John Michael Schmitz in year two take a step and be that starting center for the foreseeable future. And I want to see Greg Van Roten and Jermaine Eleumunor be right shoulder to left shoulder and own that side of the line like they did for the Las Vegas Raiders when the Raiders were graded out as a top 12 unit by every single metric. I need this to be the starting offensive line week one. Because this right here, this offensive line with Andrew Thomas, John Runyon, JMS, Greg Van Roten, and Jermaine Eleumunor is the best Giants offensive line since Eli Manning was on this team. Is it great? No. But it's pretty dang solid. And I'll take pretty dang solid over the second worst offensive line in NFL history last year, because that's what the Giants were. Grade this offensive line for me. If this is your starting offensive line week one, how would you grade it? Be honest. Get out your red pen. A, B, C, D, or F. I want to hear from you in the comment section right now. Trying to be non-biased because I know how much of an upgrade that is. That's a solid C+, man. That's a solid C+. I wanted to go B-. I did. But that is a solid C+. That is an above-average offensive line. And above average is awesome for the New York Giants on the offensive line because nothing matters until the offensive line is fixed. And I will applaud Joe Shane for going out and signing Jermaine Eleumunor, going out and signing John Runyon, bringing in Stinney, bringing in Schlottman, and signing Greg Van Roten in training camp. I've been very critical about the lack of assets he's put to this offensive line. I'll give him credit for what he did this offseason. If you're ready for the season to maybe see a good offensive line, hit that thumbs up icon for me. I'm pumped up. It's game week. Got a couple more sleeps, and I want to take down Dan Campbell and those dirty, fake, tough guys down in Detroit. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on IG at @MarshallGreen_. Let's talk some Giants football over there. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Oh, man. Yeah, I've been told that players and coaches and people in the front office don't know what's going on with Evan Neal, and they are concerned if he is even going to play this season. That's not good. Like, I knew it wasn't good where we're at with Evan Neal, but I didn't think it was that bad. And two Giants goofballs in the chat, those are my guys. They said they expected Wink back too. Exactly. I don't want to call them out because I love this team. And it's just my job. And it's not their job to tell us the truth, so I can't even be mad at them. But they will lie to you to save their face. They've done it with injuries. They've done it with coaches. They did it with Saquon Barkley. Franchise tag still on the table. No, it wasn't. Everything's on the table for Saquon Barkley. No, it wasn't. This front office will lie to you at every single turn. And I don't need them to be honest with me. But I'll tell you this much. If you're going to continuously pick inside the top 10, you better stop freaking lying. Or you're going to be fired. Because I'm sick of it. Again, I don't claim to be a newsbreaker. I don't claim to be a guy that gets scoops. But when scoops land on my desk, I'm going to share them to the people that subscribe to this channel because you guys deserve that. And I have been told that Jermaine Eleumunor has been told to focus on right tackle, and everybody inside the organization doesn't know what the hell's going on with Evan Neal. So that's where we're at on that. That's where we're at on that. Nope says, Marsh, you're famous. You even got haters. I never really believed that they say you ain't popping until you got haters, and we are officially at the point where there are people that actually hate me. It's incredible. I love it. I love it. I love that shit. I went to the casino this past weekend with Reed and a couple of other of my homies. A couple of my other homies from Chat Sports went to the casino this weekend, and I wore my Kayvon Thibodeau shirt jersey. And I'm sitting at the table playing blackjack with Reed and who else went with us? Smitty, Chip, is that it? And Cullen. And I'm wearing the Kayvon Thibodeau jersey, and this girl comes up to me. Girl is probably not even the right word to describe. This is a woman. This is a 45 to 55-year-old woman. She puts her hands on the back of me, and she goes, Thibodeau, Thibodeau. So I'm like, woo, Thibodeau. And I get back to playing because I got to freaking make some cheese. And I look back, and I look away, and she taps me on the shoulder, and she goes, you're a real prick, you know that? And I'm like, what? What just happened here? And then I'm just like, what are you talking about? And then they walked away, and I looked at her. I looked at Rhea. I'm like, did she just call me a prick? I'm like, I haven't been called a prick in years, and that was exhilarating. It felt great.
It was the weirdest experience I've had in a while.
Then, one, they were not sober. They were not sober whatsoever. And the friend of the one that called me a prick walks back over, and she goes, you know what you're advertising, right? And I'm like, I'm not advertising anything. And she goes, do you know what you're wearing? And I'm like, yeah, a New York Giants jersey for Kayvon Thibodeau. And she's like, yeah, you're advertising. And I go, look, lady, I don't know you. You don't know me. Just keep it pushing and let's never talk again. Deal? And then they walked away. But before the second interaction, the dealer looks at me and goes, wait, you don't know her? I was like, never met her a day in my life. And she goes, in my 10 years of doing this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen happen. I'm like, I just got called a prick for no reason. It was insane, Reed. I don't know what happened.
I was I'm speechless. I was just sitting there
I thought she was a Giants fan, so I was like, woo, let's go Big Blue. And she was like, you're being a real prick, you know. I'm like, I've been called a prick since I was probably 12 years old by my mother. She got you I don't know what you mean by that, Bronx boy. I don't know what you mean by that. Oh, man.
All right, so unfortunately, I see Nelson and it was Zegan?
Zegan Man, 72.
Man. So I see your super chats it's for some reason our super chats aren't popping up anymore. It might come back in a little bit, but sometimes this will happen.
Brutal.
Yeah, either that or I'll have to manually build them.
Nelson, thank you for the love, my brother. Sending $1 super chat. If you got a comment or question, Nelson, just drop it in the chat and we'll answer it. And then Zegan Man 72 says, haters hating just to hate. Marsha's a cool guy. Look, man, I don't know. I think I'm pretty nice to everybody out there except for the people that don't have profile pictures on Twitter that want to talk shit. But, man, people really have been coming at me on Twitter sideways, and I take it as a compliment at this point. I really do. I don't go out of my way to talk bad about people. I just put my head down and I work. And anyone that has reached out to me as a Giant content creator, I would hope they have nothing but kind things to say about me because I have nothing but kind things to say about them. And they've shown love to me. And my number one rule is life is if you show love to me, I'm going to show love to you. But if you're an a-hole to me, I'm going to be a bigger a-hole to you because I promise one of my best skills is being an asshole. And I'm really good at it, according to my mother. So let's just not do that, okay? I love ELE. ELE. Everybody love everybody. Oh, man. Marsh, could that woman be having a little someone in 9 months? Not mine. Not mine. She cussed me out, and we kept it stepping. Michael, appreciate you, brother. Cha says, LOL, Atlantic City is Eagles country. I went to AC wearing a Giant shirt, and the valet parking attendant said Giants suck, and the $20 tip you were getting is gone. LOL. Love that. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. This Bronx boy just dropping eyeballs in the chat. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to two giant goofballs. Check them out. They do awesome stuff, man. More importantly, they're just good dudes, man. They're just good dudes, and I can always appreciate that. I can always appreciate that. We are going to get into a mailbag in about probably 20, 25 minutes or so. We have one more segment in the mailbag. 5 players we're going to be looking for to watch in the game against the Detroit Lions this Thursday. So we'll break that down. And then we're going to do a mailbag. We're going to do a mailbag. So if you're new to the channel, we like to do these mailbags because we pride ourselves on audience interaction here at Chat Sports. It's a two-way street. And I'll be honest with you, I don't like just coming up here and not interacting with y'all. I like to hear your thoughts. I don't know everything. I learn a lot from y'all. And I go back and I read the comments every day, even when they're mean to me about my widow's peak. But I always learn something every time I do. So major shout out to y'all. If you have a comment, if you have a question that you want to get on the show, hashtag Giants. Chat Sports rules are guaranteed a way to get on if you do send in a super chat.
All right, so I see Lord Buddy Bear and Ryan. I'm going to see if I can fix it. But, Marsh, if you want to shout them out and see what they said.
Yeah, you're just toggling back and forth, right? Okay, gotcha. Sweet. What about if you take a filter off one of the comments? So you have all the do you know how to do that? And then maybe you could go find it that way. That's another troubleshooting way to potentially do that. As you get some behind the scenes looks here, shout out to Reed. Lord Buddy Bear coming in with a $5 super chat. Unfortunately, YouTube is being buggy right now, and they're making our software not software. But he says, breaking news, bigger than Ayuk. There's a Chat Sports legend up in here, and he just cracked a beer. F the losers who couldn't beat Eli in 2 Super Bowls. Lord Buddy Bear, we love you and appreciate you, man. You are that dude. Boom. Bang, bang. Shout out to Lord Buddy Bear. If everybody could drop an LBB in the chat. He is a diehard Chat Sports fan. He shows love to me on Giants, on Knicks. I think he's in every single club that we have here at every single channel. And I'm not sure that is it. Corinne, I can't see you. What did I miss? What did I miss, Corinne? I'm sorry. I could see you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just eyeballs? I'm sorry, Corinne. Chat, I got to lock in. My head's all over the place. Lord Buddy Bear, we appreciate you, man. Ryan Liskowitz, $2 super chat. Thank you to you, my friend. Says, what position would you draft other than quarterback? I think the biggest needs for this team, it's hard to say because I don't know how this season is going to go, right? Yep, we're going to be live on the channel Thursday, Mr. Rick. I better see you there. It's hard for me to say because I just don't know how the season's going to unfold. I think tackle, potentially. Corner. Defensive line. Specifically interior defensive line. And then I'd say corner. Like, corner, DT2, quarterback, offensive line depth are probably the biggest one for me. As Lions Talk by Chat Sports is in the chat. My man Mike. What's up, Mike? That's my guy, Mike Kimber, the best Lions channel on YouTube. So if you're looking for another side of the coin to listen to, another perspective about the Lions, joint practices, the Giants game coming up this week, check out Lions Talk. He is a real one, man. That guy is a real one. All I'm saying is, Giants got to punch the Lions in the mouth today, Micro Mike. I think y'all showed up to New Jersey today thinking it was sweet, thinking you're getting to play the big, bad 6-11 Giants. We stood up to them. We said, we ain't taking no BS. I think you had to appreciate that a little bit. I didn't think you thought you were coming into a fight like that, like you were. We're in a sub-battle this week, Micro Mike. We're in a sub-battle this week. You better bring your A game. Michael Cook says we focus on the playoffs. That's real rich of the Detroit Lions to say that. That's real rich for the Detroit Lions to say we focus on the playoffs. I'll let that slide because you've been good the last 2 years, but that's real rich of Lions fans, Micro. That's real rich. All righty, let's look ahead to Thursday, and let's talk about 5 players that I'm going to be keeping my eyes on for the New York Giants. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green, and it is game week. We have waited way too long to once again watch this football team line up from another football team and go toe-to-toe and try to win a football game. And we get to do that this Thursday, where we are going to be live on the channel with a Chat Sports watch party. So subscribe and turn your notifications on, and we'll see you an hour before kickoff on Thursday night. I thought it was interesting following day 1 of Giants versus Lions joint practices, and Daniel Jones says, I want to play this Thursday. And not because, it's not surprising because Daniel Jones said he wants to play. We know he's a competitor. He's always going to compete. One of the hardest working dudes in this league. And he wants to see where he is at as a player. But what I thought was interesting was he hasn't really been in a live setting like that. He's been wearing the red practice jersey. Even against the Lions on Monday in joint practices, he obviously wore that. He hasn't been in a live, full contact, no red jersey since week 9 against the Las Vegas Raiders. It's been 8 months. Is he ready to be in that environment? Is he ready to take a big hit to the knee? I don't know, but I love that he said he wants to go out there and play for his guys. I want to ask you this question, though, before we get into 5 players I'm going to be looking for to make big-time plays and make a statement on Thursday night. Do you think the Giants starters should play versus the Detroit Lions on Thursday? It's always an interesting conversation about starters playing in the preseason. I want to hear from you. Type Y for yes, type N for no. For me, I think the Giants' offensive starters should play. My first thought was, I don't need to see anything from Andrew Thomas. But if I'm going to put Daniel Jones out there, I need every single starter playing. And maybe it's only for one drive like it was last year where the Giants had that great opening drive where they ran like 57 play-action plays in a row and they marched right down the field and scored on the Detroit Lions. So, yes, I'm going to say at minimum the Giants' offense should play for one series. Daniel Jones needs to see live bullets and be in live fire before week 1 against the Minnesota Vikings. He needs to feel the pocket. He needs to be confident in that knee. He needs to take a hitter or two before we're ready to go on Sunday, week 1, against the 0-1 Minnesota Vikings. On the flip side, I don't really need to see anything from 97, from 0, or number 5. There is nothing I could learn from watching Dexter Lawrence play football, watching Brian Burns play football, or Kayvon Thibodeau play football. I think we're at the point in the offseason with these 3 guys where it's just like, put them in bubble wrap, put them on ice, and let's have them ready to rock and roll and go take down Sam Darnold and the big bad Minnesota Vikings. So I want to see the Giants' offensive starters play. I don't really need to see the defensive starters play. But 5 people I do want to watch, and I want to see big things from. Let's start on offense, and let's look at the backfield. Rookie running back, wide receiver turned running back, Tyrone Tracy Jr. I want to see him play because if you watch this channel during the draft process, you know how big of a fan I was of Tyrone Tracy, and I just want to see some of the things I've said come true. I truly do believe in him, man. He's a special player, was a 5th-round pick out of Purdue for the New York Giants, and he is explosive. And during Hard Knocks, you saw how much the advanced analytics scouting department for Big Blue loved Tyrone Tracy. But more importantly, just the player and the skills I think he possesses and the plays he can make, he's got a legit opportunity to step up and win a job and be the RB2 for this football team. That job is wide open. We know Devin Motor Singletary is going to be RB1. He is going to be your bell cow. He's going to be the guy that leads this team in carries if he does stay healthy. But after that, we don't know who RB2 is going to be. Giants just cut Jashaun Corbin, so we know it's not going to be him. Eric Gray got lit up at Giants practice on Monday. Who knows if he's going to even play on Thursday? Tyrone Tracy, I think, deserves a crack at RB2. I think Dante Miller deserves a crack at that. And I think Eric Gray could actually be on the roster bubble as he still continues to struggle at pass protection. He needs a strong preseason, man. He really does. If Eric Gray doesn't show growth, if he doesn't show any improvement as a pass protector, as a pass catcher, and give confidence to Brian Daboll, Mike Kafka, or Joe Shane for that matter, I could see him on the roster bubble and looking potentially on the outside in. And I want to see Tyrone Tracy and him go toe-to-toe, face-to-face, competing for that RB2 job. I want to see the running backs be a big part of the offense on Thursday night. Well, from running back to defensive back, slot corner, rookie, 3rd-round pick out of Kentucky, Andrew Phillips. He's another player that I'm going to have my eyes glued to when the Giants kick it off Thursday night against the Lions. It seemed like every fight the Giants had Monday at practice, number 22 was in the thick of it getting things started. Him and Amon-Ra St. Brown got chippy. Then Andrew Phillips got in a fight with an offensive lineman for the Detroit Lions. He was not scared. He did not back down. And if you're going to play corner in this league, and if you're going to play slot corner in this league, you got to be wired a little bit different right here because at 5'10", 190 pounds, you have the hardest job, in my opinion, outside of corner and offensive tackle in football. You're playing in the middle of the field. You don't have leverage to the boundary. You don't have leverage to the hashes. And you are guarding the fastest, quickest players in the NFL. And you're playing a reactionary position. And he has done a good job in training camp. He has the inside track at that starting slot cornerback job. And if the Lions play their starters, I want to see him go toe-to-toe in the slot, getting physical, lining up on the line of scrimmage, playing press man with Amon-Ra St. Brown. We know St. Brown is one of the best slot receivers in the NFL. He was compensating this offseason, and I want to see our rookie stack up with him and see where he stands as an NFL player. Overall, I'm not all that confident in the Giants' cornerback room. I like Deonte Banks, but he has to be much better than he was as a rookie. He flashed signs of being a guy that could be a CB1 as a rookie year. But in year 2, we need to take a step. We need to be more consistent. And if the Giants are going to be anything like we want them to be this year, we need him to really cement himself as a top 20 corner in this league. Because outside of Banks, McLeod, and Phillips, it's question marks everywhere for me. I just don't have the confidence I once did in Cordell Fly. Trey Hawkins, I don't think, is ready. And with the back-end shuffling of the roster at the cornerback position with Herndon, Goodrich, Long Jr., Borders, and Christian Holmes, who the Giants signed on Monday, there is an opportunity for somebody to win this job. And I want it to be the rookie, Andrew Phillips. Let's go to the linebacker position. And Deontay Johnson, the second-year UDFA out of Toledo, has been getting some run with the first-team offense, rotating in with Micah McFadden. And in these preseason games, you're going to get a longer and extended look at some of these depth pieces. And Johnson's going to have the opportunity presented to him right in front of him to go out and claim a roster spot. He's worked with the first-team defense from time to time this offseason, and he credited his success in this new Shane Bowen defense to the fact that he played in a similar scheme and a similar terminology type of defense when he was with Toledo in college, and he has said that has helped him come up to speed and make plays. We saw Bobby Okereke sing the praise of Deontay Johnson, as has Shane Bowen. I still expect week 1 against the Minnesota Vikings for Bobby Okereke and Micah McFadden to be your 2 starting inside linebackers. But after that, I do think the job is open for somebody else. We know Isaiah Simmons is going to play that money backer role, which is essentially that second strong safety, very similar to another big nickel on this team. But I think it's safe to say Deontay Johnson is above Darian Beavers. He's above Carter Coughlin, above Matthew Adams, and above Darius Musa, the rookie. He is going to be in a spot Thursday where he could potentially earn a roster spot, and I want to see him call the defense, play sideline to sideline, play aggressive, fast, and downhill against the very, very physical Detroit Lions team. We're going to learn a lot about the pregame or about the training camp hype that Johnson has received so far this offseason. I've got 2 more players that I'm looking forward to watching on Thursday night and what I'm going to be watching for them. But first, I got to tell you about our proud sponsor, GameTime, the #1 ticketing app in the game, the only app that promises you get the best seats for the lowest price guaranteed. And if you download the app today and use that promo code ChatSports, you're going to get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. I have used all of the ticketing apps out there. I love going to sporting events. I love going to concerts. I love going to comedy shows and so much more. And none of them care more about their customers than GameTime does. And all the features in the app are awesome. Like as you see in the middle picture on the screen right now, you could filter by all-in pricing. That way, the price that you see is the price that you pay. Because we've all seen tickets like, oh man, we can get these 2 tickets for $100, and you get to checkout, and it's like, why are they telling me I owe $250? They don't do that at GameTime. They take care of you. You get last-minute tickets and flash deals, views from the seats, and the lowest prices guaranteed. It's the only app I use. I went to the Grateful Dead concert last year. I went to a Knicks game. I went to the Home Run Derby this year in Arlington, and I'm going to continue to use it because I am a GameTime user, and I am loyal because I like getting deals. I'm a man of deals, and I like to save money, and GameTime makes sure that happens for you. So download the app. Use that promo code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. Shout out to GameTime, sponsoring Giants Now by Chat Sports, and support them so we can keep them here as a sponsor. Maybe the UDFA that's been getting the most love at a Giants training camp so far is the SMU Mustang, Elijah Chapman. And man, oh man, I am drunk off the Kool-Aid of Elijah Chapman. I don't want to hype this guy up, but it seems like every single time I talk to someone at Giants training camp, I watch the highlights of Giants training camp, Chapman is making plays, whether it's with the first defense, second defense, or third defense. And he is a guy that I think has a real opportunity here, not just to make this roster, not to be the 53rd man that makes this roster, but to potentially be a guy that's a rotational piece at that interior defensive line. We know 0, we know 5, we know 97, and we know 51 are going to have big-time roles on this team. But I also have a major question mark as to who is going to be DT2 next to Dexter Lawrence. I'm sure Raheem Nunez-Roches will be that guy. And I'm sure either Jordan Phillips, Jordan Riley, or DJ Davidson will get that next guy. But what Chapman brings is something that others at that position do not have. He is a legit pass rusher. He could do it from the A gap, the B gap, or he can line up on the edge. And I think on passing downs, the Giants lining up Burns with Lawrence and Thibodeaux and maybe Chapman as well as Ojulari going with a 5-man front could cause problems for other teams. So I'm excited to see the UDFA out of SMU go and make some plays against one of the better offensive lines in the National Football League, the Detroit Lions, this Thursday. And you knew we weren't talking about camp battles and preseason battles without mentioning the QB2 battle of Drew Lock and Tommy effing Cutlets. This is the first time my Giants fandom, which goes back to 1994, where I remember the Giants actually have 3 quarterbacks on this team that have all won games in the National Football League, where I am actually looking forward to watching every single quarterback play. And we know that Tommy DeVito, Mr. Gabagoo, Tommy Cutlets, he is fighting for his career as a New York Giant. Joe Schoen is entering year 3. This will be his 3rd time cutting down the roster from 90 to 53. He's never kept 3 quarterbacks on the active roster. Maybe this is the first time. Maybe they do keep 3 quarterbacks because they know Daniel Jones has an injury history. And they know that Daniel Jones has an injury guarantee in his roster. On his contract, excuse me. And they know that if Tommy DeVito is cut, he may not come back to the Giants practice squad. And maybe that there is a team out there that signs him to their active roster. There's only 3 quarterbacks on this team right now. Nathan O'Rourke, he ended up getting cut by the New York Giants. So you are going to see plenty of Drew Lock and plenty of Tommy DeVito on Thursday night against the Detroit Lions. And Cutlets knows that this is his chance to go out there and prove, not to himself, because he knows who he is. Got that chip on his shoulder, that Don Bosco prep swag. He knows that he can go out there and sling it. He was NFC Offensive Player of the Week. He beat the big bad Green Bay Packers on Monday Night Football. He knows that he can play in this league. But he's got to prove it to Joe Schoen. He's got to prove it to Brian Daboll. He's got to prove it to Shea Tierney that the Giants need to keep 3 quarterbacks. I think it makes a lot of sense to do so for all the reasons we talked about. Injury history, injury guarantee, and maybe the fact that he's not going to come back to this team if he does get cut. Because he said it would be a gamble if the Giants cut me. Maybe that's a little bit of a scare tactic from Cutlets, but I would not be mad at him at all if he does get cut to go look for work elsewhere. Pick a QB2, though. If you had to choose a QB2 today to back up number 8, who would it be? Is it DeVito? Is it Locke? Make the call in the comment section. I'm ready, man. I am ready. The offseason was slow. I've been pessimistic, but I'm coming off a broken heart. And hurt people, they hurt people. And the Giants, they hurt me. And I'm hurt people. And maybe I hurt some Giants fans' feelings out there. But what I saw in joint practices, it fired me the hell up. And I finally got that feeling inside my chest where my heart started beating and said, it's New York Football Giants time. And I'm ready to see them go punch somebody in the mouth this Thursday night. Make sure you are following me over on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up over there, and let's go Big Blue. Cutlets or Lock? Cutlets or Lock? Hank Stein says, we forgive you. Thank you, Hank Stein. Thank you. I was too optimistic last year. I may have overcorrected. I learned from my mistakes. Trying to come in a little bit more even-keeled this year. 1 millimeter or 1.5. I don't know what you mean by that, Bronx boy. Baldasac. $5 super chat. That's such a funny name. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Why not trade Slayton for a corner and have Azeez at end just to have more talking on the field? What do you mean by that? Why not trade Slayton for a corner and have Azeez at end just to have more talking on the field? More talent on the field? Well, because you have two edge rushers that are better than Azeez Ojulari. Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns are better, so I don't know why you would put Azeez Ojulari out there for more talent because they have more talent. The reason that they didn't trade Slayton is because no one really wanted to trade for Darius Slayton. We've told you that a couple times on this channel. Giants gauged the trade market for Slayton when he held out. Nobody really wanted him, even though Slayton told people that they did. Who's trading a good corner in the NFL? Good teams don't trade good corners. And if you're going to trade a good corner, you're going to get a lot back. And I think it's got to be more than Azeez.
I think the only one that is going to get traded is James Bradberry.
James Bradberry, and as we know as Giants fans, that brother's cooked. He's still holding on in the Super Bowl somewhere. Maybe I'm just hoping I'm speaking this into existence. I don't think the Giants CB2 is on the roster right now. I think the guy that is going to be the Giants starting corner opposite of Deonte Banks is not on this football team right now. Whether that means he is going to be cut by another team and the Giants claim him because they have a priority waiver claim this year. Whether that means they go out and sign someone right now. Whether that means they make a trade for somebody. I do not believe the starting CB2 is on this team right now because Joe Shane is too damn smart to throw Cordell Flott out there for week 1 to guard Justin Jefferson potentially. He ain't doing that because that's a fireable offense. I mean, guys, are we going into week 1 with Cordell Flott on the boundary guarding Justin Jefferson? Is Nick McLeod going to play our boundary corner? And Andrew Phillips is in the slot? I think that's the second most likely outcome. But I think even Nick McLeod would tell you he's more of a slot and a safety than a boundary corner. But he might be the best you got. I don't think that guy's on this roster right now. And maybe I'm just hoping that. As Tuto Azuri in the building. What's up, Tuto? Long-time supporter. Respects to Marshy and all the diehard Giants fans across the pond. Greeting from our entire team in Italy. Our season opener, August 16th, 6 a.m. Eastern Time. Sky Sports Rugby pay-per-view live. Tuto, I'm locked in, brother. I wouldn't miss that for the world. I would not miss that for the world. Tuto, I'm locked in, just like you're locked in at Giants now. We appreciate you, man. Love you, Tuto. You crack me up, man. You crack me up. Joseph, appreciate the super chat, man. Why underlook Holmes? He has been a starter for a while. Why am I underlooking Darnay Holmes? Because Darnay Holmes is not that great of a football player. He's being beaten out by a rookie slot corner. I've seen Darnay Holmes get called for holding enough to know he can't compete in this league at the highest level anymore. And the last thing I want to see is Darnay Holmes guarding CeeDee Lamb this year. Because if I have to see that, Lord almighty, I don't know if I'm going to make it to that Monday. Just not that good of a player, man. It just is what it is. There's a reason that no one else wanted to sign him in free agency and he returned to the Giants on a veteran minimum 1-year deal. There's a reason the Giants threatened cutting him last year and he agreed to a pay cut to stay on the team. I appreciate everything he's done. I appreciate the work he's put in. I respect him for being a Giant. I want better than Darnay Holmes in the slot. Just kind of that simple for me at that point. Day Trisha D! $5 super chat. Thank you for the love. Let's just say the Giants aren't competitive. Obviously, hope not. How many weeks until DJ is benched?
That depends.
Once the Giants go 4 games under 500, I think he gets benched. I think 4 games under 500 is when he gets benched. So 1-5, 2-6, 3-7. I think if the Giants at any point this year go 4 games under 500, Daniel Jones is benched. I don't want that to happen.
You can even push it to 3.
Yeah, maybe it's 3 if it's later in the season, like if you're 4-7, 5-8, 3-6 maybe, but that's kind of where I'm at on that.
What up, Tuto?
Tuto Missouri showing some love to Reed. Yeah, I don't think you've been here, Tuto, since Reed has taken over for Seeps as the Giants now producer. Seeps pretty much pulled a Saquon Barkley and said, I only once a Giants now producer, only a Giants now producer. And then he went and did the hosting for Vikings Today, or Vikings Now, or Vikings 0-1, whatever the hell that channel's name is.
Lord Buddy Bear said, I have Darnay Holmes on my Madden team right now in the slot.
I hope you find a better slot corner.
I hope you get a better card than him.
That's funny. All righty. Last call to get in on the mailbag for today's show. We've been live for almost 2 hours at this point. If you want your question featured on the show, hashtag Giants or Super Chat. All Super Chats that are Giants applicable, not ones that say they're going to pour honey on me. We will put those in the mailbag. Ox, are you and Seeps doing a collab stream? No. I'll do my own stream, and as will he. He'll have his own Vikings-centric stream, and I'll have my own Giants-centric stream. Reed says we need some more questions. Oh, I am starving.
We have plenty of questions. If we don't get to your question today, I'm sorry. There's a ton of them in here. I'm just picking the best ones, and if you got the best one, here we go.
If you want to guarantee your spot, the only way, it's the Chat Sports rules. A Super Chat will get your question up on screen. I got to get something to eat, man. I'm running out of gas. Woo! An hour before kickoff. An hour before kickoff on Thursday night, we'll be live. On Thursday night. The game kicks off, I believe, at 6:30. I'm kind of just making that up. I don't know. Game kicks off 7 p.m. Eastern time, meaning we will be live at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Do I have plans Friday? Working. I'm working Friday. We'll be doing Giants videos on Friday as well. Maybe a Giants live on Friday. Not 100% sure on that, though. Oh. Hey, from Baldasac. Why no Adoree Jackson? He's cooked. There's a reason no other team in the NFL has signed him. He can't stay healthy. He's not willing to tackle. And he was one of the worst corners in the NFL last year. Why am I yawning so much? Gus Nini. That's a good question from Gus Nini. I like that. Yo-Yo says, what channel? This channel. You want to watch the Giants game Thursday? Tune into this channel. You want the best free play-by-play on YouTube? Turn into this channel. You want the most passionate stream that loves Giants football? Turn into this channel. I got to calm down. I might throw up. I'm so freaking hungry. Give me 2 seconds.
Oh, boy. Is anyone eating dinner right now? If anyone's eating dinner right now, what are you eating? Marsh is hungry. He needs some ideas for dinner tonight.
My tweet of the picture of Daniel Jones, Jalen Hyatt, Malik Neighbors, and Wan'Dale Robinson saying who is stopping this offense, it's officially gone viral. Officially viral. My brother just DM'd it to me and said, my friend just sent me this. That's funny.
Lord Betty Bear eating burgers and beer. We had a great burger.
We did have really good burgers yesterday. I could use that burger again.
Steak, mashed potatoes, and broccoli. That's a great one. Day Trisha.
Trauma plucking.
Chipotle bowl.
The tweet I had like 1,200 responses. I would say 1,000 of them were either number 8, Daniel Jones, or the guy in the red jersey.
Bronx Boy, what do you want me to watch? Yeah, watch that.
Watch what?
Watch what, Bronx Boy?
The Bronx Boy. Hot honey wings sounds good from Wingstop. I'm supposed to be on a diet, though. I'm supposed to be on a diet. I might go buy a steak tonight and cook a T-bone. If they had a bone-in ribeye, I might F around with that, too. I got to get back on my diet. Got to get back on my diet because I know how football season works here.
Marshy cutlets?
I'm trying, man. I would eat the hell out of some cutlets tonight. Some cutlets sound good. All right, let's do it. It's mailbag time here on Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green, and we're going to be answering your questions before Thursday night's game. Preseason game number 1. The offseason is officially over because Giants football is back. If you're pumped up about Giants football being back, give me a big blue in the chat right now. Ryan Liskowitz coming in with the first question of the day, a super chat. Ryan, appreciate you, man. Says, what position would you draft other than quarterback? I think the Giants need a legit another corner next to Deonte Banks. And then I would look at more offensive line help. Can never go there. And then DT2 next to Dexter Lawrence. Maybe another offensive playmaker somewhere. But hopefully Theo Johnson plays really good and he's our tight end 1. And Tyrone Tracy is a good running back. But three biggest needs, I think, still outside of quarterback are corner, DT2 help, offensive line, and more offensive playmakers and quarterback. That was way more than 3, but I can't really count. Baldasack, $5 super chat. Why not trade Slayton for a corner and have Azeez at end just to have more talent on the field? Because Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns are more talented than Azeez Ojulari, who I'm a big fan of, who I think is going to have a good year. Those two guys are better, but why not trade Slayton for a corner? Because no one's giving up a starting corner for Darius Slayton. There's a reason Slayton's on this team after he held out. Giants couldn't trade him. They couldn't get anything of value for him. Joseph, my man, what's up, bro? Why underlook Holmes? He has been a starter for a while. Just starting Holmes isn't just he's not a starting corner in this league anymore. There's a reason he went to free agency and nobody signed him. There's a reason the Giants told him that he needed to take a pay cut to stay with this team last year, and he did so. I appreciate the tenure he's had with the Giants, but I don't need to see him holding, and I legit mean holding, CeeDee Lamb anymore. We got Andrew Phillips. It's time to move on. Day Trisha D, $5 super chat. Thank you for the love. Let's just say the Giants aren't competitive. Okay, let's live in that la-la land. How many weeks until DJ is benched? I think the magic number is 4 games below 500. Like the Giants are 3-7, 4-8, 5-9, 1-5, 2-6. I think at any point if the Giants go 4 games below 500, that'll probably be the time that they yank DJ out of the starting lineup and make sure he's not injured so that injury guarantee does not trigger in the offseason. Saya, what's up, man? Who is your most slept-on Giant? That's a really good question. I think it's Azeez Ojulari. I think a lot of people give him a bad rap, which, right or wrong, you could be the decision maker on that, is the injuries. But, and that's something to scoff at, right? Like, you got to be available. Best time, sometimes the best ability is availability, and he just hasn't been that enough throughout his career with the Giants. But when you talk about pure pass rushing numbers, pressure rate, the ability to get after the passer, Ojulari does that better than Kayvon Thibodeau, and his career pressure rate is just under Dexter Lawrence. And I think this third pass rusher, this rotational role, this spot where he doesn't have to play 85% of the snaps. He's able to stay fresh and come in rested, and then pin his ears back and go, I think is going to suit him a little bit better. I'm going to go Azeez Ojulari, most slept on Giant this year. Auxiliary. What's up, man? When do you think – I can't read. Who do you think plays in the preseason, specifically starters, and what game could you see it, including DJ? Daniel Jones said he wanted to play week 1. Last year, we saw the Giants offense play the first drive. I think the starting Giants offense should play at least one series on Thursday night. When it comes to the defense, I don't need to see Kayvon Thibodeau. I don't need to see Brian Burns. I don't need to see Dexter Lawrence, and I don't need to see Bobby Okereke. I don't really need to see the starters play on defense. But I do think the starters should play on offense at minimum game 1 and maybe even a drive every single game. Daniel Jones hasn't played in live action since week 9 against the Raiders. He probably just proves to himself that he could be trusted and that he could take a hit. I think he needs to go out there and do it at least one time before week 1 against the Vikings. Who do you got? Who do you got this Thursday night? Who's going to win the football game? Is it the Giants? Is it the Lions? Type NYG for the New York Giants or DET for the Detroit Lions. Zach, what's up, man? Ahkello Witherspoon for CB2. Does it make sense? I'd try him out. The Giants continue to sign corners that have not really done anything in this league to this football team. The Giants have signed 5 corners to veteran minimum contracts since the NFL draft. They went out and signed, as I have the list right here because I can't remember, David Long Jr. They went out and signed Trey Herndon. They went out and signed Mario Goodrich. They went out and signed Breon Borders. And then today they signed they went out and signed Christian Holmes. Giants have signed 5 veteran corners to minimum contracts since the end of the NFL draft. Ahkello Witherspoon is more accomplished than all of those players. I'd be totally cool with the Giants going out and signing him. What those 5 moves tell me is Joe Shane knows that the CB2 is not on this roster. Maybe they go out and sign someone that's been a CB2. That makes a lot of sense. They haven't done it yet. I hope that they will. We'll find out very soon. The NFL season is almost NFL season is here. Off season's done. Get your jersey for week 1. You want to rep a Brian Burns number 0 jersey for week 1 against the Vikings? Go to this link, chatsports.com/Burns. That is chatsports.com/Burns. Dana. What's up, Dina, man? Score prediction for Thursday. Giants 20. Lions 19. I don't know how you get to 19. It's always wacky scores in the preseason. Give me Giants 20, Lions 19. Christian Galore. What's up, Marsh? Long time no see. How I feel with DJ Dime's energy from practice today on Monday? Loved it. Loved it. Loved that he had his teammates back. Loved that he was able to mix it up and get in the scrum and not be scared and stand up for his teammates. That's all cool. I love my quarterback doing that. But at the end of the day, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. The only way Daniel Jones is going to win over this fan base is by winning football games this year. Because it's pretty simple. If he does win football games, he'll be the starter for 2025. If he doesn't win football games, he's going to be benched by the end of the season. The Giants will be once again interviewing quarterbacks at the combine and potentially making a trade or signing one in free agency. So awesome to see the fight and the leadership from him today, or I guess on Monday. But in the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't matter. And I don't want to be a hater, but that's just how I view it. Joey DeLuca, what's up, man? Marsh. Turbo Miller has been really good for us. Do you think he'll make the roster for RB2? RB2, no, but I do think he has a chance to make this roster. With Ja'Shawn Corbett being cut, you're already kind of limited on running backs. You know Devin Singletary's going to make it. You know Tyrone Tracy's going to make it. I assume Eric Gray makes it, who I think's on the roster bubble. Will Dante Miller make it, or will Jacob Saylors make it? How many running backs are the New York Giants going to keep? I would lean till 4, and I think that Jacob Saylors and Dante Miller will be the 2 backs that compete for that spot. that compete for that spot. So that's what I would go with there. I would go with those three running backs are most likely locks, whereas I think Miller and Sailors will have to compete for that final spot. I would give it to Miller. I think Miller is actually a better player than Gray, but I'm not the one making the cuts. And I remember when the Giants picked Eric Gray, I told you I don't love the pick. I remember I just said it like, I don't love this pick. I don't love this pick. Go watch it. I don't love this pick. I do not. I do not like Eric Gray all that much as a running back. Go see boy. Who do you think to be CB2? I want Drew Phillips. I think well, your CB2 is not going to be Andrew Phillips. Andrew Phillips is your slot corner. He's only going to be on the field if you have 3 corners, which will be a lot of the time. That'll probably be the Giants' base defense. The guy I want to be CB2 is on this team. I don't think he's on this team. Like, if I had to choose one of the players that's on this roster, I would go with Nick McLeod. I would, because I think he's better than Trey Hawkins. I think he's better than Cordell Flott. He's better than Long, Herndon, Goodrich, Phillips, Holmes, or Borders or Hayes at playing the outside. But I'm hoping that the CB2 on this team, for this team, is not on this team. Whether that means it's Stephon Gilmore, or it means Patrick Peterson, Xavier Howard, Akilah Witherspoon, or maybe it's someone that gets cut from another team and the Giants claim in the waiver order like they did with Jason Pinnock or Nick McLeod a couple of years ago. The waiver wire, when teams go from 90 to 53, will be something to pay attention to this year for the Giants, as I believe they have the 6th pick in that spot. Carter, last question on today's show. Giants record prediction. I'm going to stick at 7-10. I'm going to stick at 7-10 for now. That was my record prediction when the Giants' schedule was dropped. I have 7-10. And while I'll be rooting for them to win every game, and while I'll probably pick them to win more than 7 games in my preview videos this year, I'm going to go with 7-10 as the record for the Giants. Hope I'm wrong. What about you? What's your record prediction? 6.5 wins is what the odds makers out west have decided for the New York Giants. That's what they've decided. Over, under. What's your thoughts on that? Type O for over, type U for under. Let me know your thoughts, and let's go Big Blue. I got to get something to eat, man. I'm like feeling a little lightheaded, not going to lie to you. I don't know why. I can tell you why, because I didn't eat dinner last night, and I didn't eat that much at lunch today.
I feel bad. There was a question. It was, Marsh, if you were head coach, what would you do? I don't know. It didn't pop up in the software. I forget who it was asked by, but you were like, oh, that was a good question. I was like, all right, I'm going to look for that when we go in. And it was not in there, so maybe there was something wrong with the hashtag Giants or something. I'm going back through the chat to see if we can see who did it. Because I remember you were like, ooh, that's a good question. Oh, Gus Ninny. He said, Marsh, you're the head coach. What's the season goal?
Okay. Check Slack real quick. My season goal for the Giants. If I was the head coach for this football team,
The goal.
obviously the goal is to win the division, right? Obviously the goal is to make the playoffs, right? My goal for this team, and this is going to sound so soft, get better every single week. Be playing your best football of the season when the season ends. Have the fan base, the organization believing that they can compete in 2025. When the season ends in 2024, whether that's week 17, whether that's in the playoffs, be playing your best football and go into the offseason with confidence and optimism and a real thought of being able to win the division in 2025. Yes, I want to win the division. Yes, I want to make the playoffs. But let's be playing meaningful football games when it's snowing outside and we're playing our best football. That's my goal for this team. I think that's fair.
Sorry, Gus. Is it Gus Nini?
I think so.
Nini?
I call him Gus Nini.
Nini? I said Nini.
I call him Gus Nini.
So it's Nini. Okay, Nini. My bad, Gus. That one's on me.
Bronx Boy says that was my exact feeling this time next year. Yeah. Look, my goal. Have me feeling like when the season's over, I don't want to fire Brian Daboll, I don't want to fire Joe Shane, and I have confidence this team could compete in the following season for the NFC title. That's where I'm at on that.
I think it's time for us to go get some food.
I got to get something to eat, yeah. Luke Papa says, yo, Marsh, when you're hyped, I'm hyped. If you want to be hyped up, go watch the video we put out this morning. I thought I was bringing the energy. I thought it was a good video. It was the most fun I've had talking about the Giants in a long, long time. So go check out our video we did this morning reacting to the joint practice versus the Giants. Giants also made 2 roster moves. We did a video on that. We've done 6 videos on the Giants today. That's why you subscribe to this channel. That's why you subscribe. Luke Papa says, I watched it and I had chills. That fires me up, man. That fires me up. I was fired up after practice today. It was fun to talk about. It got my blood flowing, and I'm ready for Giants football now because of it.
Dina said, are we going to cover the joint practice tomorrow?
Dina.
Of course.
I know you're new here. You're going to learn quick. There's nothing the Giants do that I will not cover. If the Giants took a poop, I would do a video on it. Everything the Giants do, we do videos on it. Every day, my job is to do a Giants video. Every single day. Every single day. All righty. We're going to sign off on today's show. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Remember, subscribe and turn notifications on and join us this Thursday for the #1 watch party on Giants YouTube. I promise you it'll be with us. Luke, we love you, man. Thanks for always being a real one. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. See y'all later. Let's go, Big Blue.